We're recording. Sorry. Thanks, Megan. I don't love talking to people. Like I'm kind of over it. I've talked to people for 25 years in person as a hairdresser, and I'm legit tired of it. So I really had to dig really deep to figure out some ways to make it fun again for me to build these relationships with people so they would join my team. And I think I did a lot of that on my own, but this book really gives you some awesome tips and awesome things that you can implement yourself to teach you how to make this fun and not scary and not intimidating. So that's what we're going to learn today. Because honestly, guys, you have to be talking to thousands of people. If you want this to like change your life, you have to talk to thousands of people. That's the bottom line. A day does not go by that I probably don't have 50 messages happening. 50 for the last almost 3 years. It's not 2 or 3 conversations. It's a lot of conversations. And I'm positive that Amy's done the same. I know that the leaders on my team are doing the same as well. You're talking to a lot of people, and that's really what you have to do. If you want this to change your life, that's what you have to do. I sucked at first. Sucked big time. All I talked about was the products and the company. And I've realized over my 3 years that doesn't work. You know, luckily it worked a little bit to get me going at first, but truthfully, it's about building relationships with people that are going to make you successful. You're not going to be perfect when you first start, and that's okay. Neither was I. I was really bad at a lot of things, but you do need to sort of figure out ways to better yourself every single day. So let's start with rule number 1. Don't be attracted to the outcome of any conversation. Our job is to introduce people to our business and our products. Do not let no's disappoint you. You are going to get thousands of them. It does not mean that the person doesn't like you or thinks you're a terrible person. It just means they're not ready yet. And I can tell you over and over and over again in my business, people that have said no, 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 over and over again, they do come around and say yes. But it does take me connecting with them over and over and over again. You do have to follow up. And if you're taking that no personally and just crossing them off your list because they hurt your feelings and you're letting it really get to you, then you're never going to continue building that relationship. And then it's never, ever going to get to the point of a yes. So you've got to take the disappointment and the hurt out of the equation and do not be attached to the outcome of any conversations that you're having. Rule number 2, do not be on the hunt. And I have heard this from coaches before, like, oh, I got to get one today. I'm going to get those 2 Success Club points. Like, that's not nice. You know, what did you say to Amy or myself or whoever your coach is before you signed up? I don't want to be a salesperson. I don't want to be pushy. And then all of a sudden people sign up as coaches and they're being these like crazy Beachbody people. They're crazed. All they're talking about is the products and, you know, buy this from me, buy that from, that's not building any trust with any relationship that you have. You have to be authentic. You have to be leading from your heart and leading with a, I want to help you mindset, not let's buy the 21-day fix and you might get some results or you might not. I don't care. All I want is Success Club 10. You got to forget about that. You have to be authentic and not be on the hunt. Think of this as a way of saying, I have something special to offer that I totally believe in. It's given me results and I believe in our products and our company so much, and I just want to share it with other people. If it works for them, that's awesome, and they want to join me, that's great. If it doesn't, that's okay. We are not salespeople, we're share people. We share the opportunity every single day. We share the programs and the products every single day, but it's not because we want to make the sale. You have to be truthful and honest with people and authentic, not salesy. Okay, I'm going to check out the chat. There looks like there's a few questions, maybe. Don't worry, we like you, Michelle. That's good. That's encouraging, Stephanie. Okay, just the name of the book. So I think everybody shared that. Okay, perfect. Does anybody have any questions yet? Yeah, you've got it, right? That's awesome. Okay, rule number 3, less is more. And I love this woman's take on this. It's like dating. When you first start dating someone, you don't want to show them too much skin, right? You don't want to give them too much. So it's the same with our conversations. Don't vomit Beachbody on them. Don't give them all these company facts and figures and what the program's done for you. That's not what you want to do in the beginning. Don't trick yourself in thinking that you're going to wow people with all this information, because they're going to get bored or overwhelmed. I will tell you truthfully, from my standpoint, if I get a message that's over 2 paragraphs long, I'm out. You've lost me completely. I just can't handle that much information in a message. And if you're sending out all these facts in paragraphs to people, they probably are not even getting to the bottom of your message, because they're just overwhelmed by information and they're just tuning it out. You want to keep your conversation short, and you want to be asking them questions about themselves. People love talking about themselves. They love being able to share information about themselves. The more questions you ask them, the more information you're going to get about them, and then you're going to be able to figure out how you can help them better. Be interested, not interesting. Be authentic. We all have superpowers, and your superpower is you. It's being you. Don't copy. Don't try and be someone else. Be yourself. You are going to have people that relate to you. You are going to have people that want to join you. You 100% are. Anyone that wants to be a coach, or at least the ones that I run into, you have heart. That's why you're doing this. So you're absolutely going to be attractive to other people, but you have to be yourself, because people can see right through that. If you take my posts or my scripts and copy them word for word, people are going to know that doesn't sound like Crystal. What? When did she start talking? When did she start throwing the F-bomb around? That doesn't sound like her. You have to be yourself. You have to talk like you and be authentic. That is what's going to make your connections real with other people. What did I write here? Sometimes I write myself notes and I don't even know what I'm talking about myself. But you have to let your own uniqueness come through in your posts and your messages. So you want to be prepared with what you're going to say to people. You want to be confident about what you're saying and really be you. Don't be someone else. Rule number 5. And this, I'm going to say this a couple times because I really want it to sink in to everybody. You cannot say the wrong thing to the right person. You can't say the wrong thing to the right person. Stop worrying about what you're saying to people. Stop trying to make every single thing you say perfect. Stop using somebody else's script because you think that's the only way that you're going to be able to sell a challenge pack. It's not. Stop worrying about it. If it's the right time for the person that you're talking to, they're going to join you. It's maybe not going to be the right time at that moment, but when it is, if you continue building that relationship with that person authentically, they are going to be ready at some point. Enthusiasm and your confidence about what you're offering the person goes a long way. Don't let the fear of not saying the perfect thing stand in your way. It's like a spinning wheel, right? You're worried about not saying the right thing, so you end up not talking to anybody. And if you don't talk to anybody, you're never ever going to get this thing going. You've got to just go for it. Don't worry about saying the right thing. Just share what you know. Share what's working for you right now and why you think this is going to be something that could change this person's life, whether it's the coaching opportunity or the 21-day fix or all access challenge pack, whatever reason you're talking to this person, be confident in what you know and what you have to share right now. And if it's right, they're going to join you. If it's the right time for them, it's going to work out. And if it's not, don't worry about it. It will someday. Darlene, it doesn't look like she's on the call right now, but it's a perfect example. I was a coach for like 1 month. I didn't know what I was doing. I had no clue what I was doing. I didn't know Darlene that well. We went to school together in high school, but weren't great friends. She started posting in my support group, and I didn't know if she even knew what Beachbody was. And I messaged her, and I was probably crapping my pants, just asked her if she wanted to be a coach. And she said yes. Clearly, it was the right time for her. It was not that I said something magical. Like, it wasn't that I said, oh my gosh, I've already earned $10,000. Why don't you come and do this with me? Because I didn't even know what it was, really. I remember her asking me what we do. I'm like, I don't know. We just post on Facebook, talk to people. And she did. And look she's one of my successful coaches. It was the right time for her. If I had let fear stand in my way and never asked her, I wouldn't have had one of my top coaches and now a really, really amazing friend. Okay. Anybody have any questions? Megan just said that she's agrees with scripts. Having scripts are great as a lead off point. Like I'm using this book almost every single conversation, because this woman shares a lot of scripts. They obviously don't relate to our business, so I have to switch them to make them my own, but I use her ideas. But this whole copy and paste, and I get messages every day from coaches. Do you have a script for that? Do you have a script for that? Like, no. Yeah, here's what I would say, but you need to make it your own. And that is my real truthful feeling about scripts. I used to take Amy's scripts all the time. So I get wanting to do that. It feels like it's easier, but it never sounds like you. It just doesn't. Okay. Number 6, don't try and convince people. I've fallen into this trap thousands of times, where I look at my message and I see myself trying to convince them to do the 21-day fix, convince them that it's going to work for them, convince them to do Shakeology. It doesn't work, and it's a total turnoff to your customer. They do not want to be convinced. It goes back to, it has to be the right time. The first question I ask anyone that I'm talking to is, how's your mindset? Do you really feel like you're ready to commit to this program? Because this is way more to do with what's up here than it is with what you're going to eat and how many times you're going to exercise this week. You have to be ready up here, and you can't convince someone to be ready. So if you stop and read your message that you're sending to someone and you feel like, wow, I'm almost telling her I'll pay for the package for her so I can get Success Club points, then just stop. Just stop. It is not the right time for either of you. There is no Success Club point or commission that is worth that. Number 7, listen. Really listen. And this is something that I have to watch myself every single day. I'm a skimmer. I skim messages. I always have. I'll read the first sentence and the last and try to figure out the middle on my own. And that does not work. You are not building any type of relationship if you are not asking the right questions and then actually listening to their response and hearing what they're telling you. If you've asked them, what are your challenges? Do you find it really difficult to know what portion control is? Are you binging at night? You need to listen to that story that person is telling you back. Or if someone's telling you that, she's stuck at home with 4 babies and she just feels like she has no life of her own and she's telling you all this stuff. She is giving you so much information that you can go back and tell her why you can help her. You need to listen to the facts that they are giving you in these messages and really figuring out how you can help them. It's called their pain points, which we're going to get to in a second. But that's why you need to ask the questions, so you can find out what's happening in their life, and then you can tell them how you can help them, whether it's weight loss or the business opportunity. You need to give people room to talk. That goes back to not like vomiting Beachbody on them, not even talking about Beachbody before you really get to know them. Number 8, I often, like I just said, people feel like they're being pushy, or they feel like they're being salesy, and no one wants to do that, right? You feel like you're always chasing people. You know, oh, I gave Jen that video 2 days ago and I still haven't heard from her, and now I have to message her back, and I just wanted to touch base with you. Have you had a chance to watch that video? And you feel kind of like a little icky, and it's just, you feel like you're bugging them, right? If you actually set up follow-up conversations, you take the ick away. When you send that video to that person, what I do personally, right in my first couple sentences, I say, I'm going to follow up with you in a couple days. Do you think you're going to have time to watch that video today? I really want to see, what kind of question. You're going to have questions, and I want to be able to answer them for you. Are you going to watch that today or tomorrow? I'm going to follow up with you on Wednesday. So if you set up actual appointments with people, follow-up appointments, you're not going to feel like an icky, pushy person that's constantly chasing your customers, because they're expecting your call or your message. They're expecting to hear from you. So all of a sudden, that does not feel like you're chasing them. They know that you're going to be calling on them to see what questions they have. You're not being pushy, you're being professional. That's what professional business people do. They send information and they follow up. They ask, how did you like the video? What questions do you have for me? Usually what you want to ask a question so that they kind of have to reply back to you. What kind of questions do you have for me about the 21-day fix? What questions do you have about coaching? And they know to expect that message from me. Number 9, don't count your chickens before they hatch. And I've done this a million times. You know what happens when you're looking for Success Club 10 or 5, and you're talking to 3 people and they've all told you that they're going to buy this month. They are 100% in. They are buying that challenge pack. What do? Do you take your foot off the gas? You met your goal. I'm at Success Club 10. No problem. That lady, Crystal, Dorothy, and Shelby, they're all buying this month, so I can just let up a little bit. 9 times out of 10, actually 9.9 times out of 10, Crystal, Dorothy, and Shelby never message you ever again. They don't buy the challenge pack. And then it's the 28th of February, and you are disappointed and frantic. You didn't meet your goal. You're in this predicament. Do not ever count your chickens before they hatch, because what happens is you slow down. You start not inviting anymore, and you start just, thinking that you've got it made in the shade this month, and you'll worry about next month. I never take my foot off the gas, guys. Even when my dad died, I did my vitals every single day. I didn't do them as well as I should, clearly. I didn't do everything that I always did, but I made sure I did that stuff every single day, because I know in this business, you lift up a little bit, you slow down. So if you've got momentum built up and you want this to, I'm talking to people that want this. Like, I figure if you're on this call, you want it, right? Like, who hangs out at 12 o'clock on a Monday? You want this business to work, then you need to do all those steps every single day. And counting your chickens is a surefire way of letting up on the gas. So just don't ever do that. And I'm guilty. I've done it many times before. So, okay. Any questions? Oh, Madeline, yeah, you're guilty too. Well, it's happened to us all, so don't feel bad about it. Just don't do it anymore. Rule number 10, no rambling. Again, it just goes back to those long rambling messages. People just get overwhelmed by that. They get overwhelmed by too much information. You want to just spoon feed them. After you've asked them questions and they've replied back to you, you know what information they're going to need. You probably didn't need to tell them 50 of the facts that you did in that first message if you would just stop and ask them questions first. Get to know them first, and then you know exactly what you need to say back to them. Be brief, be bold, and get out. That's one of Shailene Johnson's favorite sayings, right? Be brief, be bold, and get out. Okay, so this is my favorite exercise, and we're actually going to do a little exercise with this point. So this is called leading with what's in it for them. And this is a really good system of how to talk to people and how to craft your messages so they're specific to the person that you're talking to. First of all, like we've said, don't launch into information about your products or company. That's not what you want to do at first. You want to get to know people. You want to be attentive to them and engaged with what their pain points are. So you're probably asking me like, oh, she keeps talking about these pain points. What does she mean? And this I totally learned from this lady. If I can find it here. So I want everyone to get a piece of paper out and draw 2 columns. At the top of one side, put pain, and top of the other side, put no pain. And I want you to think of one person that you want to connect with right now. So someone that's on your list right now that you're going to talk to today, maybe someone that you're sort of in conversation with about coaching or a challenge pack, think of them. On the one side of pain, I want you to think about all the things that you either already know because you've asked them the right questions, or that you presume would be this person's pain points. So I'm going to give you an example of myself prior to coaching. So my pain points were I felt very overworked. I never saw my family. I never had supper with my family. I felt very rushed all the time. I was very uninspired. However, I was conflicted because we had a really great lifestyle, and I did not want that to change. And I did not know what could ever replace that. So I felt very stuck in my business. I didn't know if there was anything else that could give me the same lifestyle. That was my pain points. Another example, let's talk about, say, a mom that's at home with babies. She's at home with babies. There's enough pain for me. She never has any connection with other females because she's home with babies all the time. She's got 20 extra pounds of baby weight on. I don't know, Megan, you're home with 4 babies. What are your pain points? I think you know what I mean, right? Like, depending on who you're talking to, you know what they're looking for. You need to figure out what they're looking for. You can easily figure out people's pain points by going to their social media pages, what they're talking about in their posts, what they're sharing, what kind of posts they're sharing. Even if you don't have a relationship with a person yet, you can figure out what their pain points are. So if you take a minute before you go and message someone and figure out their pain points, you can actually craft your message to show them how you can help them specifically to their pain points. So I've crafted a message from Amy to me. If I was someone that was questioning coaching, which I didn't, but if I was that person, this is how she could have crafted a message to me. Hey, Michelle, it's Amy. You've been on my mind lately. I've been thinking about you. I remember when we were chatting, you said how much you were hating that you missed all the after school activities with Delaney. You miss all the suppers when Terry hears about how her day went, because we both know by the time you get home, she's forgot, right? Every kid. How was your day? I don't know. Who'd you talk to today? I forget. So that's Delaney's favorite thing. Okay, where was I? Of course, only having one day. And I know that you said only having one day on the weekend for the three of you to enjoy together just wasn't working for you anymore. I'm working with so many women right now who are just like you. They are actually building lucrative businesses while being a hands-on mom with all this flexibility. They have been able to actually increase their income substantially and increase their time with their family. I don't know if this would be a good fit for you, but I just can't help but wonder if this could help you have the best of both worlds. I would love to tell you more about it. Would you be interested in hearing more? So in Amy's message, she just answered basically all of my pain points. She told me that she has an opportunity that would give me flexible hours. I could be home with my family more, but make the same kind of money. I could be doing, I didn't really touch on this in the message, but I could be doing something I was loving, health and fitness, and there was a potential of endless income. So that would have answered my really big concern of changing my lifestyle. Does that make sense? You can do that with a challenge pack. You can do that with a coaching opportunity. If you figure out what this person needs in their life and what they really, really are looking for first, then you can come back to them and answer all of their problems and tell them that we have something that will help them with that. Make sense? Makes sense? Okay. Honestly, that little section of this book alone is worth $20. She has so many different scenarios of how you can take someone that you haven't talked to in a long time. So say someone that you went to school with, but you just think they would be an awesome coach on your team, or someone that you know from the skating club that you know is feeling uncomfortable about their bodies. You can literally go to their Facebook page and find out what they're lacking in their life and share with them what you can give them if you find out those little tiny pain points at the beginning. Sorry, I'm just looking at what Amy said here. Where do you struggle? Yeah, absolutely. Where do you find you struggle? Definitely. That's a great question to open up, because people, I usually use the word challenge. What do you find your challenges are, or whatever, and that opens up a whole bunch of information that they share with me just by that simple question. I'll read another one that she just gives as an example. Lynn, we haven't talked in ages, but I love keeping up with you through your posts. I'm thrilled to see that life has been so good to you. I'd love to pick your brain for my business, since I have a feeling you might know some people that I could help. I work with lots of women who love earning extra money for travel, for shameless shoe funds, or even to pay for their kids' college education. I know your son is going to be heading to college really soon, isn't he? So maybe this might be even something you're interested in. I'd love to set up a time to chat with you. When are you, what time would work for you? So that's someone, her example there was someone she hadn't talked to since college. She actually went to this person's Facebook page and saw that her son was going to college soon, and that she liked jewelry and shoes, because she kept sharing all these really expensive jewelry and shoe ads, I guess. So she literally crafted that message just by looking at this person's Facebook profile. And it ends saying, I think that this person actually joined her team. And I don't even know what this lady does. I have no idea what MLM she's in. I have no idea. No idea. Anyways, I hope that makes sense. Does anybody have questions? Because that has helped me. Like, my messages have totally changed since using that. What I do now before, especially for the coaching opportunity, like, I try and invite a couple people a day. So now I just go and look at how I could help them. I literally just think about how I could help them, how this opportunity could help them. And I start most of my messages right now. I've been thinking about you. You know, you've been on my mind. And this is why. Because you told me that you are so sick of being at home and not having any female relationships. And the team that I have, you know, they've become my best friends and blah, 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 blah. I answer their pain points. Okay. And I think there's just one more. Yeah. At the end of the day, when someone isn't ready, make sure you're asking for referrals. If it's not right for them, they probably know someone it's going to be right for. Make sure. And I lots of times forget to do that, but I think it's so important to do that, because you just never know who the person you're talking to or who the person you're adding to your page. Like, I never not talk to someone, because I often will think, you never know who their sister is, their cousin is, their friend is, that might want to join my team. I mean, and that's how I think now. I think about my team. I think about adding to my team all the time. So I always have that in the back of my mind. This person, I can tell, probably would never be a coach, but if I can help them have this amazing success with the 21-day fix, genuinely, you know, help them see their results, you never know who they know or who they're going to refer to me that could be my next best coach or whatever, right? Next coach on my team. So always be asking for referrals. When I first started as a coach, the inviting to a challenge group was not something that came comfortably to me, because I had been so overweight. If anyone had invited me to a challenge group, I would have been very sad. I would have been extremely hurt by that, because I would have taken that very much like, you think I'm fat and I need to join a challenge group. So I have never invited in that way. What I've always done is asked if they knew anyone that would be interested in joining me. That's just been my comfort zone in inviting to any sort of challenge group. So my message might go something like this, you know, hey, Megan, you know, blah-de-da-de-da, like whatever, small talk at first. And then I would say, I'm sure you've seen my posts on social media. I'm talking about when I was first a coach here, like brand new coach. I'm sure you're seeing all this stuff I'm posting on Facebook, right? Like, haha, how could you miss it? I'm running these groups now, and we're using the program that I've used to get my results. Do you think you would know anyone that might want to join me? I would never, ever say, Megan, I think that you should join me. There's just no way I would say that. Yeah, and that's just my comfort zone with that. So what often happened is that person said, well, I want to join you. And yeah, I bet my two sisters do too. So all of a sudden, instead of one person, I opened the door to all her friends and her family and whatever. So it was just a way of asking for referrals. When I add someone to my support group, in my message is, please add all your friends and family. The more the merrier in this group. Like, everywhere I go, I ask people to add people or ask people to bring them back to me. So always ask for referrals. If you're speaking about, this was a good tip that she said, if you're speaking about the business and they've said, no, it's not for them, cool. Then you can go back and say to them, would it be okay if I described the person that I'm looking for to you? Because I think you probably have some really awesome connections. When you go back and describe the person that you're looking for, you describe the person that you're talking to. Does that make sense? So here's an example. If I was talking to a hairstylist and she had said, no, this doesn't sound like it's for me, I would say, okay, totally understand that, totally cool. Would it be okay if I just described the person that I really would love to have join my team, or the people that I want on my tribe? Can I describe them to you so maybe you know someone that would like it? I love working with stylists. They just love talking with people and are really good at building trusting relationships. They always have a big network already built up because they have a clientele base. I also find they're extremely coachable. They often have breaks in their day that they can do some of the daily tasks that we need to do in this business. They can answer quick messages in between clients. That's someone that I would be really looking for. And then you can give other examples. So I was talking to a hairdresser that said she didn't want to do this. I asked for permission to describe what I was looking for, just in case she knew people. And then I basically described herself back to her. What it does is it makes her think, wait a second, yeah, I would have time in between clients to answer those messages. Oh, okay, so maybe I would know a lot of people at first that would want to do this because I have a clientele base. So you the reasons why you think she would be great to join your team, you describe back to her, even if she's given you a negative answer. So that was just another tip about asking for referrals. So I found reading, and I've now read that paragraph like probably 25 times, but I found reading that helped me in my messages and my invites so much. Even after 3 years of doing this, it made me really learn how to craft messages right to specific people. And I don't know, it took a little bit of the ick factor that maybe I was still feeling a little bit out of the equation. So I hope those tips help. I think the biggest tip is just go get the book. If at the end of the day you didn't hear one thing I said, just go read the damn book. My team is so sick of hearing about this book. I'm sure they're ready for me to start reading something different because that's all I've been talking about. Anyways, I'll unmute everybody, and if you have questions, fire away. Anybody? No? Cool. Well, that's great. You guys are all smarty pants. Okay, well, that was 45 minutes. So that's enough.
Yeah. I talked it without listening.
Bye. Okay. Bye, guys. If you don't have any questions, that's good. Anybody? I'll go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Any questions? Okay, cool. Bye. Yeah, bye, guys.